Minding the Gap is a documentary directed by Bing Liu, and it follows him and several of his friends growing up in Rockford, Illinois. In my opinion, the less that I describe the plot of the movie, the more impactful it's going to be on the viewer. Going into it, I wasn't 100% sure what to expect, and as the plot developed and I learned more about these characters, it made such a huge impact on me. Essentially, it starts off being, in a way, kind of a coming-of-age documentary. It follows his friends as they're skateboarding throughout high school. As they get older, some of them get full-time jobs, some of them move away. But Bing Liu is interviewing his friends and himself and even their family members, trying to figure out why are they the way they are and what has impacted them in their life up until this point to bring them to where they are. They describe skateboarding as kind of being the escape from their home lives or the problems and issues they had. But this is so much deeper than just a skateboarding documentary. As you begin to kind of scratch the surface at some of the issues that these people have, it gets really heavy as these people start to ask these questions about their life, their family's lives. And you really start to understand that there is a lot more to people than what is just on the surface. So what I absolutely loved about this movie is how authentic it was. The emotions in this movie are so real, and you can feel it with every single scene that is shot. I really gotta hand it to the director of this movie for making the shots that he did and asking these tough questions to these characters. Because you can feel there's this tone in this movie where Bing Liu is, in a way, kind of nervous to ask his friends some of these deep questions, and even his family, and kind of work through these issues. But the more that they talk and the more that they converse about these topics, it really hits home. Even if you don't deal with these issues on a personal level, you can still resonate to what they're saying and feel the impact of their conversations. On the surface level, it talks about so many issues. Issues like growing up, trying to make a life for yourself. It touches briefly on issues like race, but really goes hard on the issue of toxic masculinity. And that's where I think this movie is more relevant than ever, because it asks the question, what does it mean to be a man? Why are we taught to be a certain way? And again, it's hard to kind of go into exactly what this movie says about the issue without giving away too many plot details, but as it begins to develop all these different people in this movie, you can see how this issue is relevant to every single person. So many of their issues, just like so many of the world's issues, come from the false teaching of what it is to be a man. And as this movie begins that discussion, it does it in a way that is so bold and so brave. I'm really curious the consequences of this movie, because again, these are his real life friends and family that are going through these issues, and this documentary exposes a lot of issues about them. Not all of his friends are seen in a positive light. Not all of his family is seen in a positive light. This movie is so honest in the fact when a person does something really bad, they don't shy away from it. They tell it like it is. It's very much trying to make a statement, and that statement often contradicts some people in this movie. But that's what makes it feel so real, because that's how life works. There are people that you love, your friends and your family, but they do some really bad stuff that you just cannot condone. And this movie begins to ask that question, how do you handle that? How do you love someone even when they're hurting you? And again, trying not to give away any plot details, that's one of my favorite lines of this movie, is at the very end, one of his friends kind of uses skateboarding to describe this feeling, that even when he falls down and skateboarding hurts him, he still loves it. Also, from a strictly movie standpoint, it was really well edited. The cool thing is it uses footage even from when they're early on in middle school. So the movie, from my understanding, kind of starts off when they're in their late high school years, and these interviews take place throughout a couple years while they're in their early to mid-20s. But the cool thing is Bing Liu actually used footage from even earlier before that. And while he didn't know at the time filming that he was gonna make a documentary, there are scenes that are used in it that really show these characteristics that he's trying to show his friends and family have. And that adds even more to the fact how sincere this movie feels. Because this is honestly just footage that a friend was filming of other friends. Like, that was me. Me and my friends would film each other skateboarding. And we weren't nearly as good as they were in this movie. But it's so cool to think that that footage that they filmed years ago, just doing tricks and being stupid, that it can be used now, years later, to tell this story. So this movie is currently on Hulu, and I believe it is a Hulu original movie, so it should stay there probably forever. But I cannot stress enough how everyone needs to see this movie. If there is no other documentary you watch this year, watch this one. I think it's really going to start some necessary conversations that this culture needs to have about so many different topics. And I hope that as you watch this, that it impacts you as much as it has impacted me. So Minding the Gap, have you seen it? If not, Why not? You need to. If you've seen it, when you see it, let me know what you think. I really, more than any other movie I've seen this year, want to have a conversation about this movie. Comment below, let me know what you think, like and subscribe for more videos like this, and I will see you next time.